Did you know that about 60% of projects and enterprise transformation initiatives fail in the United States? This is partly due to inadequate implementation, increased resistance to change, and a lack of change adoption. Which is why in this video, I will present to you the top 11 consulting firms in the United States and explain how the right partner directly influences success for your organization in the US. In addition, stay with me until the end and I will give you a free checklist for you to use. Let's jump right into it. We begin with essential. Essential is typically brought in when technology is a major driver of the transformation. They are well known for large scale digital, cloud, and systems enabled transformations where strategy must quickly turn into implemented solutions. Organizations working through complex technology rollouts or enterprise system changes often look to Accenture for execution at scale. Let us pause here for a second to reflect on some of the things that I just said about Accenture. They are well known for large scale digital, cloud, and systems enabled transformations where strategy must quickly turn into implemented solutions. What does that really mean to you? It means that you want to consider the changes that your organization is implementing. If they are related to digital, cloud, and systems enabled transformations, then you want to consider Accenture as one of the organizations for you to add to your list for interviewing with them and identifying how well they match with your organization's culture and also whether they are going to be the right partner for your organization. And that is really the goal of the overview that we are going to be presenting for the top 11 consulting firms. We will start by providing you with an overview of all of these organizations so that you know where their strengths lie as well as their area of focus. After going over all 11 organizations, we will now go over a checklist that you can now use to narrow down the list from 11 down to two or three consulting organizations in the US. You will now reach out to these organizations and request a meeting, which is basically an interview. You are interviewing them to see if they are the right consulting firm for your organization. So the next on the list is going to be Airiodion Group Consulting. Airiodion Group Consulting is rated a top management consulting firm for mid to large scale projects as well as enterprise transformations in the United States. A key reason for this is that they are focused on end to end business transformation, not just strategic or advisory engagement. Another reason why Airiodion Group is recognized as a best consulting firm for the US is that they integrate change management directly with project, program, and transformation delivery. So instead of treating project as a standalone or change management as a standalone, they embed all of these components into an all-in-one consulting delivery. Airiodion Group is also recognized as a top management consulting firm for the US because it applies a four-phase scalable, flexible transformation framework to mid and large scale types of projects. This ensures that success is not just emphasized towards the end, but all the way from planning, designing, building, implementing the solution, all the way down to sustainment, that success is achieved across the life cycle. The next organization on the list is Alvarez and Marcel. This firm is often engaged when organizations need strong execution focus, and fast operating impact. They are known for rolling up their sleeves and working directly inside a business to improve performance, stabilize operations, or support turnaround style transformations. So, if your organization is in an environment where you need rapid level turnaround, or it's a major type of transformation that involves stabilizing your operations or improving performance, then you want to consider them as one of the 2 to 3 organizations that you select from this list of 11 for your organization to meet with to determine if they are going to be the right match. Next on the list is Bain and Company. Bain is commonly selected by organizations that want a strong link between strategy and measurable results. Let's pause on what I just said. If your organization is in a situation where the transformation that you are doing involves connecting strategy with measurable results, then you want to consider Bain and Company as one of the 2 to 3 organizations that you select from this list of 11. Bain and Company, their deliverables often centered around performance improvement, customer focused transformation, and helping leadership teams stay tightly aligned on what success actually looks like. So, if the changes that your organization is implementing is centered around performance improvement, or it is a major transformation to re-engineer your customer-facing processes and platforms, then you want to consider them as part of that narrow list of 2 to 3 organizations that you select. Okay. The next on the list is Boston Consulting Group, also known as BCG. BCG is known for its innovation driven approach to transformation in the US. Organizations that are rethinking growth, redesigning operating models, or integrating advanced analytics into how they perform operations, they often look to BCG for strategic clarity combined with modern day execution approach. Next on the list for top consulting companies in the US is Deloitte Consulting. Deloitte is typically involved in large, complex enterprise transformations that involve many work streams at once. So, if your organization, as an example, if your organization is implementing 10 or 15 or 20 work streams that are all being rolled out in parallel, and that could also be global in nature, then you want to consider Deloitte. Their strength shows up in programs that cut across technology, people, operations, and governance, especially in large organizations that are managing long, multi year transformation timelines. Next on the list is EY Advisory. EY is frequently engaged when workforce and organizational change are central to the transformation. Their engagement often focuses on helping organizations navigate change to job roles, capabilities, leadership models, and how work gets done across the enterprise. Next on the list is KPMG Advisory. KPMG is commonly selected by organizations that need strong structure, governance, and operational discipline during transformation. So let's pause here for a second. If your organization needs strong structure, governance, and operational discipline during transformation, then you want to add KPMG to your list of those finalist organizations that will be selected for the next stage for your organization. Their approach tends to resonate well in environments where accountability, controls, and performance management are critical. The next organization on the list is McKinsey. McKinsey is often brought in by organizations at the highest level of the corporate hierarchy to help shape enterprise strategy and guide large scale transformations. Their work typically centered on executive alignment, operating model redesign, and enterprise wide change efforts with significant visibility. So as you're listening to me, you are obviously taking notes, right? So if you are hearing things like McKinsey, operating model redesign, and you know for a fact that your organization is implementing operating model redesign as part of your transformations, or your organization is about to implement an operating model redesign, then by default, I believe you are going to be adding McKinsey to your list of the finalists for you to reach out to invite them to a meeting. Next on the list is Oliver Wyman. Oliver Wyman is frequently chosen in industries that require deep industry knowledge and analytical rigor, especially financial services. So, if your organization is a financial services organization, then you want to include Oliver Wyman on the list of the finalists for you to reach out to. And whenever I say you, it could be somebody from your team, it could be you and your team. But basically, consulting companies for your organization to reach out to and say, hey, we would like to have a conversation. We would like to learn more about your services. Let us have a conversation to determine if you are going to be the best fit for us. The next on this list is PwC Advisory. PwC is commonly engaged in transformations where, keep this in mind, governance, risk, and compliance must move alongside together. So if immediately this is resonating with you, if you're nodding your head and you say, yes, my organization is implementing transformations or projects that involve governance, risk, and compliance changes, then you want to consider PwC as part of those a final list of organizations that you are going to be considering for hiring. So as you can see, each of these consulting firms play a different role in the US when it comes to project implementation and enterprise transformation. In the next section, I'm going to walk you through a practical checklist that will help you go down from the top 11 consulting firms in the US down to selecting 2 to 3 for you and your organization to reach out to have a meeting. That way you can determine which one of those 2 or 3 is the best for your organization. Let us take a look at that checklist next. So the link for you to download this checklist, which I am showing on my screen, is below this video. So when you download and you review the checklist, you will notice the first step, which is to narrow down the list. Before interview even begins, you want to look at the experiences for the various management consulting firms in the US. What are the type of projects that they have implemented? Are they similar to the type of projects that your organization is implementing? Also, do they provide hands-on strategic and tactical support versus just providing your organization with recommendations or advice? The second step really is the interview. So after selecting that 2 to 3 candidates or firms, you now want to reach out to them, let them know a little bit about your project, and request a meeting. During the meeting, which is basically you and your organization interviewing them, you want to ask them a couple of questions. On this checklist, which is on my screen, we have included many questions, but the main thing though is this. You don't have to ask every single one of these questions, right? You can select some to prioritize. You will see we have included why the questions matter. So for example, can you share examples of project like ours? You notice here we've included why does this really matter? The same thing with the next question below and the next question below. For all of them, we have included why each one is important. That way, you can better determine out of all of these lists of questions, here are the ones I want to prioritize or ask them during the interview. When the interview is done, we now get to step 3. This is the evaluation step. You will now be comparing the organizations that you and your company have interviewed across criteria, including their delivery approach and their communication style, as well as the overall value to your organization. Here is a big advice for you that will really improve your success. How well did you and your team connect with each one of these consulting companies when talking to them? This is very, very important. Why? Because you, as an individual, you represent your organization's culture. So if you connect with a particular consulting firm when engaging and talking to them, there is a high probability they will also connect well with people within your organization. Because you have to remember that you are hiring them to come drive change within your organization, to come deliver projects, which means engaging with people across your organization. So if you're not connecting well with them, then people across your organization will not connect with them either. And if you are connecting well with them, that tells you people within your organization will also connect well with them. So that level of personal connection is very critical in making that final decision as to which one of these you want to actually hire, you or your organization. Now, after your comparison, we now get to a step 3, which once again is evaluating these companies that you've interviewed. That leads us to step 4, which is making your decision. Obviously, it might not be you by yourself making the decision. There might be other stakeholders that are also making the decisions with you. But there are some key things you want to check off when you get to this 4th step, and we have included them on this checklist. The main takeaway, though, is simple. The right management consulting firm in the US for your company is not the biggest or the most popular. It is really which US management consulting partner really show that they understand your organization. Which ones can better support your organization through change, project, program management, who can deliver results, and most importantly, who can leave lasting change behind once the engagement ends. That is who is going to be the best US management consulting firm for your organization. Okay? If your organization is preparing for or already navigating a mid to large scale project, I can help. As outlined in this video, my organization, Airiodion Group Consulting, is recognized as a leading US consulting firm for organizations in the United States. Even if you simply have questions about you have questions about what are the best practices for mitigating challenges or pain points that your organization is currently experiencing, or if you have questions about how best to select the right management consulting firm in the US, or you want to bounce ideas off someone, don't hesitate. Reach out to me. I will be more than happy to have that conversation with you. Take a look below this video. You will find a contact OB Airiodion link, which you can use to contact me. Okay? Looking forward to speaking with you soon. And don't forget to like this video, as that lets me know that you have received value from it. You can also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss great content like this one.